Hey everybody, Whiskey Boy 288 here, or Foo Fighter 288 if you're watching this on YouTube later. Eric Seidel if you follow my work on hub pages. Thank God you're watching this on YouTube later, because the power of editing is really going to make this stream go a lot better. For the longest time, of course I've been playing GTA Online since it came out back in 2013. I've been with it in the best of times, and I've been with it in the worst of times. And let me give you a hint, the worst of times were back in 2013 and 14. Pretty much anything up until when the heists actually got released. Those were the worst of times. But anyway, for all the years I've been playing this game, I've collected cars, I've sold cars, back and forth and all. And my friends have always asked me, like, hey, well, can I see your cars? And it's probably one of the worst things they could ever ask, because I'm kind of a hoarder. Hang on, let me explain. I'm not actually a hoarder when it comes to cars. But I do like to keep some stuff, most of the stuff that I've purchased over the years. In some cases, I, go back and rebuy it. Like when the VIP CEO offices came out. I'll explain that in a second. But I figured what I would do is I would just do a stream where I show every car that I own. Just so in case someone asks, like, hey, can I see all your cars? I could just send them the link to the YouTube video, and I don't have to do like a 3-hour tour of the whole thing that I own. So let me just for like video, just to put it all on video and just have it there as reference. That's the point of this this stream that you're gonna watch. I'm gonna cut it down, and I'm gonna try to keep it as brief as I possibly can. So yeah, starting with the I'm gonna start with the bunny ears museum that I have. These are all the cars that I bought over time. And decided, like, no, I'm gonna keep these. I might want to bring them back out at some point, but I'm not really using them right now, kind of a deal, So this here was this was the first car I ever had with this character. I mean, I grabbed this. This was the Shyster Fusillade. Grabbed it off the street, took it to the Pay and Spray or whatever, Los Santos Customs, and just got it upgraded. Every mission I ever did back in the old days of GTA Online was with this car. This car is fucking great, believe me. I mean, it's fast. It ain't a supercar, but when you get it fully upgraded, it's, it's slicker than grease shit. Over here, of course, everybody's got one of these. I've seen guys have whole garages full of these. This is the Allergy RH8. Yeah, no, I got notes, but I can't remember. I'd rather just look at the screen and just read what it is. Anyway, yeah, everybody gets one of these. It's free. I remember back in the day going into some friends' garages, and they just have like a rainbow of just these cars. They just every single different color, but 10 of these, and it was kind of spooky. I was like some serial killer shit there. But still, it's a good car though. It is a good car. At one point, it was one of the fastest, if not the fastest, in GTA Online. And then, of course, here, this car, the Coquette, I called this, some of these cars I named. I gave pet names, too. Like, that's Old Red over there. And then I think I called this one Sherbert, because I didn't always have it yellow and red. I had it, like, blue, yellow, and red, kind of like Rainbow Sherbert, which I don't even know if they make that ice cream flavor anymore. This one, of course, I called Tequila Sunrise, because this is the sunset orange on it. It was one of the first convertibles I had. This thing was this was like my go-to sports class race car when racing used to be something back in the day. Now this one here, the Stinger GT, this was the first car I ever named after a friend of mine. I named him after Pyro Riot. His actual name is Anthony Rojo. Greatest guy I've ever known, one of the best guys I ever played this game with. I've known him for years. He doesn't play Xbox much anymore. He went into the PC Master Race sometime back around the PS4, Xbox One generation started. That's okay. It's okay though. I still talk to him. He's a pediatrician. He's working his way through medical school. He's a kick-ass guy. He really is. As a matter of fact, he's aged well. He actually kind of looks like Tom Selleck, so he must be slaying pussy everywhere. But anyway, this car I named after him, and the reason why is because if you're familiar with the Stinger GT, it's a great sports classic car, but well, when you go around the turns, if you try to do turns in this thing, it just kind of spins out if you don't control it right. And that's kind of how Pyro used to be sometimes when we'd be driving during the heists or whatever. He was Basically, that's a reference that he's not a very good driver. But I'm sure he's a great driver in real life, but in GTA, he's kind of shit. Anyway, over here, this is Watermelon. This, of course, got released with that really crappy Beach Bum update, like, way back in the day. But this was a really, really good off-road race car, even though if you, depending on the races, like if you were out in Blaine County and you had to drive over those dirt roads, this thing would bounce around like a motherfucker if you got around those bumps. But it was a good car, and I'm keeping it. I'm just putting it in the museum. And then, of course, this here I called Thunderfinger, because it's the James Bond Aston Martin. Yeah, the James Bond Aston Martin, and you know, from single player. Of course, for the longest time, those machine guns on the front, or flak guns, or shotguns, or whatever they're supposed to be, they didn't work. But then once they finally released the weaponized version of the JB700, I just sold the old one, and I bought that and put it right in the museum. So yeah, I probably never even street tested this. But yeah, it's a reference to my two favorite James Bond movies from the Sean Connery days, Thunderball and Goldfinger, which are legit two of the best goddamn Sean Connery James Bond movies there are. I mean, Thunderball was so, you know, so good they actually ended up remaking it as Never Say Never Again. Anyway, this here, the Obey Tailgater, otherwise known as Michael's car in single player, was back in the day a rare car. I mean, it was rare. Now you can just buy it. It's no big deal. But it used to be rare as hell back in the old days. And I spent a ridiculous amount of hours, you know, pausing the game, going to find new session, pause the game, go to find new set at different spawn points just to get this thing. And you better believe I'm not selling this sucker. I'm keeping it. So this one I named Singularity because it took a while. Also, this was the first time I started experimenting with the whole metallic pearlescent combinations, and this is like my favorite version of that. But yeah, that's the Obey Tailgater. This here is a legitimate, like, spawned it off the streets version. This here was my first pickup truck, the Bison. I named it Walker because it kind of reminds me of like the Dodge Ram that Walker Texas Ranger used to drive, except a little more modernized. And then this here I named Power. Yeah, you got to say it like that because that's how Jeremy Clarkson talked in Top Gear. Anyway, the episode I'm referencing is the one where he was testing the Ford GT, and he was having a hell of a time climbing in and out of it. I had this one in my garage for like a hot minute, and then instead of selling it, I just kind of put it in the museum once the CEO DLC thing started. But I really wish, and I thought for sure they had the classic version of the Ford GT in the game, because I would rather have that here, because that was even funnier, him trying to climb into that, because he's a big guy, and it's a very tiny, tight car. Anyway, I was going to put that in there and replace it with that, but I don't think Rockstar added the Ford GT Classic. I wouldn't even know where to look. I tried Googling it last night, and I think I found like PC mods for it or some shit. And it's like, that doesn't help me. I want the actual car in the game so I can, you know, that's... Why are you conceptualizing ideas when not... Fuck it. Anyway, this car here, this is the Glendale. This was actually a pretty decent car back in the Vice City days. And of course, because of that, and also as a reference to Scarface, I named this one Yayo. If you don't know what Yayo is, well, Google that. And then this is Cool Breeze. This was my first convertible. One day I was just driving around, and you know how you can just grab cars off the street and sell them to Los Santos Customs. Oh, you didn't know that? Well, now you do. This one here, the what is it again? The Felon GT. This goes for $9,500. This is like the most expensive car you can take to Los Santos Customs and sell. And one day I was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna keep one. You know, so that. And then I painted it, did that pearlescent experiment that I do, that I told you about, and I just kept it, called it Cool Breeze. Though I keep the top up for some reason. I don't know what. Fuck it. Hang on. Just hang on. Just indulge me for a second, everybody. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, fuck it. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Don't indulge me. Don't indulge me. Oh, yeah, I forgot I picked that for the...
What are you after?
Ooh, that's trippy, ain't it? Yeah, let me put that back. I'm sorry about that. I forgot that that was gonna... Never mind. Never mind. Anyway. This over here, I named this America, because at the time there was a controversy going on about the Confederate flag, and they canceled Dukes of Hazzard and pretty much everything because of it. When they could have just, you know, they could just easily like, just CGI, like put a little orange bar over top of it in the shows. I mean, with the technology we got these days. But no, let's just cancel the whole friggin' series. But yeah, I decided to put this here. It's not because I'm some kind of liberal pussy or anything. I just put it here because I got the Duke of Death, and I figured that's a more superior version of the Dukes, and I put that in the spot that I used. But we'll get to that later. And then this here is the Chimera, which on paper seems like a great idea for a motorcycle, but believe me when I tell you that the physics in this game don't go well with tricycles. They really don't. I bought it because it was a tricycle. I thought, hey, this is kind of fun. This is cool. But you try to corner in this thing, and no, you're going to wipe out. So I didn't want to sell it because, you know, I really tried to make it look cool and everything, and I spent like some time like going through the options and everything. This was back during the biker update when there wasn't a whole lot of other stuff to do, you know. So, but yeah, I'm screw that. I'm keeping it there. I'm not selling it. So, when the next gen version, or I'm sorry, the enhanced version, I guess now this would be the current gen version that I'm playing on Xbox One. When the current gen version came out, they had the hot knife, something else, and that electric car was for free. I think because of I don't know, some kind of promotion. Well, they weren't for free, but they were for free if you had a pre-order bonus or, I don't know, some bullshit. But it became available to everybody else once the Xbox One version came out. And so I decided to buy a hot knife, and I customized it and experimented with the pearlescent metallic thing. And but the car was kind of shit. So I didn't want to sell it, but I kept it. This here, the T20, I forget what the hell I named this. But this was my go-to supercar for racing for years. This was another one of those rare cars that you could find. But yeah, the Bobcat XL was, I'm pretty sure you can buy it now on the phone. It's no big deal. But back when I got this one, it was the same situation as the Tailgater. It was like one of those rare vehicles you could only find out on certain spots. Of course, it wasn't as rare as the Tailgater. But I wanted to get the one that didn't have the cap on the back. I wanted like the pure pickup truck version. And yeah, I spent not as much time as the Tailgater, but I spent some time cutting back and forth between sessions until I found this. And painted it red. And I forget what the hell I named it. Anyway, this here, the Guardian, I named that after Carlos. Because if you ever played Saints Row 2, you'll understand why. And then, of course, the Casco, for the longest time, was my go-to sports classic race car. That is if people ever did sports classic races anymore, which they don't. And then this was that other car I mentioned, the Chameleon, which I'm not a fan of the electric cars in this game. I'm not a fan of electric cars in real life, to be honest with you. They don't have that vroom vroom sound. You know, if Tesla would put like a Mustang sound effect, I would be like, oh yeah, I'll drive an electric car, but they just sounds like. Sounds like a wind-up toy, and I wasn't like impressed with that. But I tried to make this car look as badass as I could, but I didn't really have to. I mean, the car was already this color when I got it, so I just kind of added like some black light, what's it called, neon lights on the bottom of it, and drove it around for a bit, but went straight to the museum. Straight to the museum. And then, of course, this here is the Faction Custom Dunk, which I named Zebra. Yeah, I know. Original. But, yeah, it's not that I didn't like it. It's just that I think I ran out of room in my other garage, which I'll get to later on, and I just decided to put this in here. I might bring this back out again, but I'm not sure yet. Alright, so this here is Blueberry, which is a Massacre. For the longest time, this was my go-to sports car. Fuck it. It was a sports car that I used for sport races. And then this is the Nero Custom, which I called Blue Balls. And that was my go-to for the longest time for supercar racing. This here is Vanishing Point. This was the only Dodge Challenger that they had in the game for like years. It was pretty kick-ass in single player, and as soon as online came out, I was like, oh yeah, I want one of these. And so I just grabbed one off the street, because this is one of those cars you can grab off the street. You don't got to pay for it. And but yeah, once the actual Gauntlet Classic came out, and I was able to make a proper Kowalski Vanishing Point Dodge Challenger, then this decided to go. I threw it right in the museum. And then this is the Contender, which was my next pickup truck that I owned. Because I mean, I try to have at least one. I figure one of every. You know, important to have one of everything. So I threw that in there. But then once this other thing came out, this ended up in the museum too. And then the Rapid GT Classic. This thing's changed. I've had to change the paint job on this a few times. Started off green because it kind of reminded me of the Mustang from Bullitt. You know, because it kind of looks like it from you know, certain angles. But then I found out it was an Aston Martin, and I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck? This isn't even a muscle car. Why am I doing it? So then I ended up painting it yellow and black to be kind of like the car from Nash Bridges. But then I found out it wasn't a Barracuda. So this is an enigma. I can't really figure out why I put this in the museum. I do want to keep it, but I guess I just can't find a spot in one of my other garages. And then this is the Blazer, the Street Blazer. When the motorcycle update came out, when the biker business update came out, I wanted to fill out the motorcycle club with different varied motorcycles, and this was one of them. But then I think a different quad bike came out, and I decided, okay, well this one's better than this. Not that I drive it that often, and I decided to put this in the museum. Anyway, yeah, I know this is kind of a basic bitch thing to do, is have Eclipse Towers, but this was one of the what it was when Eclipse Towers, for this one update came out where they had like custom apartments or something, and I wanted a good apartment with a good view, but also something I can change the look inside of. So I ended up making this like my main apartment. I know everybody and their mother-in-law has an Eclipse Towers apartment, but this is like my main garage for, well, for Freeroam vehicles. You know, if I buy a new car or something, I put it in this garage. You know, Freeroam, any Freeroam vehicles I want to use to drive around in, I'll usually put in this garage. Now, starting over here with the Alpha, I think this came out during the High Life update or the Ill-Gotten Gains update, or one of those two. But this thing, I named it Pound Cake, and I've probably driven this car in Freeroam and in missions and in everything more than any of these other vehicles or any other vehicle I've ever owned. That thing is a good car. And then this, I think I got for free. It's a Retinue. I mean, no, the Revolter. One of the first cars that had like machine guns when they started adding machine guns and stuff and everything. It's fast. It's got 4 doors. But it's got pop guns. But still, at least you can use your other weapons, your normal weapons out of it. And never really named this. And I can't remember where I got. I think I got this for free or for a discount or something. And I thought, what the hell? Let me buy one. Anyway, this here is the Banshee 900R. I always had a Banshee. But as soon as this became available to upgrade at Benny's, you better believe I was going to go to it. I named this Hot Dog. Don't worry, I don't put ketchup on my hot dogs. But you know, this thing was pretty. After the Alpha, this I think I've driven a lot. And well, that and the Sterling GT. Those are like my 3 go-to Freeroam cars. But this here, the STR-V. This is like the VSTR. I said that backwards. Yeah, this is like my new go-to Freeroam car. Once again, it's fast. It's got 4 doors. I love that. And I think this came out with the Nightclub update or one of the casino updates. I'm not sure which. This car here, the Dominator GTX. Sounds great on paper. I think it's based on one of those new Mustangs that they had. Whatever that Mustang was that they raced the Dodge Hellcat against in that one Grand Tour episode. I forget the name of it. But yeah, I think that's what this is based on. It's an okay car. I'm kind of disappointed in it. It's not really as fast as any of the other cars, but yeah, let me put it to you this way. If I was going to sell something, This is on the list of stuff I might sell. If anything, I might not sell it. I might put it in the museum. There's two types of cars I have, people. There's cars where I'm like, oh no, I kind of want to keep that. And then I'll put it in the museum. And then there's other cars where I'm like, why the f did I even buy this? Let me sell this son of a bitch. And there's two lists. I got two different lists. Not everything makes it into the museum, you know. And then this here, I love this car. This is like the best casino heist car, in my opinion. The Jugular. Once again, 4 doors, fast as hell. And just because it looks beautiful, that was me. I did that. That doesn't come with the car. This is just, that's all customization. God, look at that though. God, look how the fenders just blend into the doors. It's just for old timey's sake. Let me take my favorite old to our next garage that we're gonna go to. Don't worry, the next garage isn't that far away. Right up the road. Trying to do all the Los Santos stuff first before we go out of town because I don't want to. Isn't this special? Quick Sheep's got a special guest appearance in the stream, everybody. If you're not familiar with who Quick Sheep is, he's the guy who's helping me with that casino heist article. And he's also the guy who played in Two Idiots Eventually Rob a Casino, which is currently on YouTube. Nobody ever watched it. I'm not surprised. This Stilthouse because it's got a pull in the back. Of course, Rockstar kind of shit the bed on the whole Stilthouse buying thing, I think. You know, they could have been nice if they had like a back door that were allowed you to go out to the yard. In order to get to the back of this house, I gotta like climb on the roof, go up around the back. It's actually kind of cool for jumping into the pool, but other than the pool, there's nothing really back there. It's not really worth it. But anyway, this is like my muscle car / epic old-timey car garage, or sorry, classic car garage. Yeah, it's a classic car garage. Starting with the Turismo Classic, which I'm not sure why it's here. I'm pretty sure I had this. I think this was like at one point the best, or it might still be the best sports classic race car in the game. But can't remember why it's here instead of. I don't know. We'll get back to that. Anyway, yeah, Turismo Classic, the Vamos, the Tulip. And then we got the Stallion. Now, there's a story behind this. This was my favorite car from GTA 4. I used to love these cars in GTA 4. When they finally released it when they finally released it into GTA Online, you better believe I was the first one to get one. But the thing that sucked about it was they only had the convertible version available. So for like a good solid year, 2 years, Rockstar didn't really let you. It was like a random thing. Where, you know, you randomly had to buy it at a certain time or whatever, and you might get a hard top, or you might get the convertible version, or you might get the soft top version, or whatever. And it was 3 different versions of this car, and it was a pain in the ass because it was randomized. And I didn't feel like constantly spending, hang on a second, how much was it? How much is this thing? Yeah, I didn't want to constantly keep spending $71,000 well, now it's on sale for like $0. That's pretty nice, actually. Damn. No. Not doing it. Anyway. But yeah, I didn't want to constantly keep spending $71,000 because there was a time when $71,000 was a lot of money. So, I didn't want to keep doing that just to get a damn convertible. Luckily, Rockstar released a patch for the garage where you can take it to Los Santos Customs and you can change it to whatever roof type you want. So thank you, Rockstar, for that, because now I finally got my hard top Stallion. And this here, the Chino, I'm pretty much aware that you can take this to Benny's and get it customized and pimped out and hydraulic and blah blah blah. But I wanted to keep it vanilla and keep it just the way it is because it kind of reminds me of the car Jack Lord used to drive on the original Hawaii 5.0. It kind of looks. I don't know if this is a Lincoln. It looks like it's based on a Lincoln, but it's pretty damn classy looking just the way it is. And then this here is another thing, the Comet Retro Custom. I love the Comets in this game, but I didn't want a spoiler on the back of it. I didn't want a giant wing on the back of my car like the rest of them are. Oh, hey, see, Quick Sheep's a real homie. Apparently there's a griefer outside ready to kill me. and he's warning me about it. But yeah, I liked the Comet that was in GTA 4, the one you get from Brucey. That was like my go-to car in that game because I mean, it's a free Comet. What the hell? Why not? It's not like you could buy cars in that game. Get tons of money, but nothing to buy for it. And but this time, I was able when Benny's allowed it to be customized and all that. I got rid of that wing ASAP. And on top of that, I got to turn it into one of those old Porsches. So I like that. Now this car here, the Tornado, well, the Tornado Custom, I should say, it's kind of important to me because my father helped me make this, put this together. When it first came out, I said, like, hey, Dad, hey, they got a 57 Chevy in the game, because he used to own one back in the day. Of course, it was a beater by the time he bought one, but he was telling me about it and everything, and he was like, oh, man, this is great. And me and him spent like an hour just customizing the thing when it first came out. But then when the Lowriders update showed up, I said, like, hey, Dad, get a coffee, get a comfy seat. They got a Lowriders update in GTA Online. They added a whole bunch of stuff to it. We're probably going to be a minute with this car. And he was like cutting some, I think he was like doing carpentry or something. He's like, yeah, all right, give me a minute. And then like 2 days later, because you know how it is, we came up and we went to Benny's and we just like spent a lot of time making the car look like what it is. I actually spent I think I spent like a solid $2 million just putting this car together to make it look. Because he's like, oh wait, no, go back to that other. Because those Benny's updates are like, I mean, those Benny parts were like expensive as shit. But he's like, no, actually, wait a minute, go up and buy this one. Go up, get the. So yeah, my dad helped me put this one together, and I think I'm pretty sure it's like always a convertible. I don't know. Can't remember if the top goes up. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we're not inside the office garage. Let me see if I can. Which button is it? That. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then this here is the Nightshade, which was also for the longest time. Wait, Nightshade? Yeah, Nightshade, which for the longest time was also one of my favorite go-to Freeroam cars. This thing was just... I forget what update this came out in, but everybody was going on and on about how great all the new supercars are and all this other shit. And I'm like, nah, I'm just going to keep driving my Nightshade. Because these assholes, they had these cars, they basically look like ramps. And they would come at me, and I would just use them as ramps. They would try to ram into me while I'm driving this, and I would just right over them. Not cleanly. Sometimes I would flip over or whatever, but hey, it's like they tried to crash into me with them, and I would just drive right over them in my Nightshade and keep driving. I got video of that somewhere. I think I might post it if I ever come across it. But yeah, I don't know what car I'm going to take. Actually, hold on. Thanks to my buddy Quick Sheep's warning. Okay, so he's down there. Fuck him. Not Quick Sheep, the other guy. Yeah, I think I'll take the Nightshade for old time's sake. Yeah, you know what? I've driven this car. See, which one of these have I not driven that much? Let's take the Chino. Go to the next garage. Damn, this thing sounds like a boat. I love that kind of car sound. Yeah, I drive a 99 Corolla. I think it's only like 4 cylinders. You get it up to 80, 85 miles an hour. It kind of sounds a little bit like this. A little bit. Alright, so this here... This little 10-car garage, I don't remember when I bought it, but this garage specifically is for all of my racing cars that I have. Well, okay, the Dominator was my go-to muscle car for, well, whenever the rare case we could ever, anyone ever picked muscle cars for races. But back in the day, this was like the best muscle car for racing. It was the fastest and all, but I'm pretty sure they got other options now. All All right, I'm going to be honest with you. Before we start on this one, I haven't upgraded this in like 3 years. Some of these cars have been here for a long time. So, of course, I haven't played races in like forever. I've been playing other game modes, survival modes, heists, everything else. So, I mean, it's like it's been a while since... I'm pretty sure some other cars have come out that have replaced all of these in superiority or whatever. So this garage might be a little outdated for you. But I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, that was the muscle car. Of course, I made it green because I tried to make it look like the car from Bullet. Every time I get a Mustang, I try to make it look like Steve McQueen's car in Bullet. But that dark green is just... Anyway, and this I experimented with the pearlescent. This is like, I love this shade of pearlescent. This is actually, in starting over in GTA Online, this is Wong Hung Lo's main car. The F220. I mean, the F620. Which is like the best coupe in the game. Of course, a coupe, they don't even add cars. The coupe is like the most forgotten car class in this game, but this was the superior coupe. This was the best one in the game for races, even though there's only like 5 cars that belong in that class. And then this here is the Coil Brawler, which is like, at the time, I don't know now, but at the time, this was like the fastest and best off-road car in the game. And then this car here, my mom, she helped me put this one together. It's called Mercy. She named it Mercy. So it's supposed to be based on a Mini Cooper. There's not a lot of customization options. I don't know if you can take this to Benny's or not. But yeah, this is the best compact car in the game, or at least it used to be. And then at the time, my friend Nitro recommended I get the Devastate 8 for the best supercar. Once again, this was a couple years ago. Not sure if this is still the best supercar in the game. And then for the sedan class, I had a Shafter V12, but as soon as the V12 Armored came out, I decided to replace it with that. And then I think here I had a Sports Classic car. Yeah, I think I'm going to put the Turismo Classic here. I don't know why I put that in the other garage. I'm pretty sure that was my go-to classic Sport Classic race. Anyway, so yeah, here the Sultan Classic. I put this here because I'm pretty sure this is another sports car, but I wanted to have like a rally car in the race garage. But now that we got open wheel races, I might put an open wheel car here, so because that's like a new class. Open wheel is like a new class. So I don't know where I'm gonna do. I gotta rearrange this garage a little bit. And then this is Meat Wallet. This is a Huntley S. As far as I know, this is still the best SUV in the game when it comes to speed. So this was my go-to for the maybe 1 or 2 times I've ever been involved in an SUV race, and this was a pretty good one to have. And then this here is the Itali GTO for the sport class. I tried to make it look kind of like Blueberry, but a little bit more carbon. I also kind of tried, as a reference to Tequila Sunrise, I tried to make that look, make it look like brushed, orange. So I have orange, I got a little bit of orange, a little bit of blue going on, since I replaced those 2 cars over time with this. Yeah, shit. I gotta do some, alright, here's the thing, I gotta do some research into what the best of each class of the, in the game is. Because I might rearrange this garage. I don't want to do it now because I don't want to bore you. But do me a favor, put in the comments below what you think is the best sports classic, super, and muscle car, so that I can replace these 4 spots later on. Please and thank you. Also, please like, share, and subscribe. Really helps me out. Also, just indulge me for a second. Let me. My OCD is starting to get the better of me here. Let me try to fix this a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now it's complete. But yeah, sports classic, muscle, sports, and super. Whatever you guys think is the best, the new best for that class. Please let me know in the comments below, and I'll make some adjustments in this garage. Alright, so this garage here, I kind of made like my country car garage. When the, what was it, the July 4th update came out like 5-6 years ago, and they released houses into the game, I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm buying one of these. So I decided to buy one up in Paleto Bay, and I got one of the 6-car garage ones, though this is kind of a tight squeeze, but I'm gonna, anyway, this is my newest pickup, the Kara 4x4. And then, I don't know why the fuck I have a Rumpo Custom. I can't remember if I was drunk when I bought this, or... I remember it being a pretty good vehicle during that one, what is it, that one biker contract mission called gun running. Not bunker gun running, but that other mission, the biker mission gun running, where you gotta steal one of these from these armed dudes and deliver it. And I was like, hey, this is a pretty nice van. But, you know, now that I have a driver's license and I've been on the highway and all, I've damn near gotten killed by vans. Guys in delivery vans, they come over into your lane, and they don't check their corners. I don't think they got fucking corners to check. They rely on these bullshit mirrors that are on the side of these vans, and they damn near kill you when you're on the highway while they're trying to change lanes and shit. You know what? I'm gonna sell this fucking thing. Hang on. Just give me a second here. Fuck this van. So I'm gonna be a pussy. I'm gonna go into passive mode because I don't want to get involved in whatever the hell my friend Quick Sheep is doing.
Here for the magic touch.
Hey Siri. Set timer for 48 minutes. Now I can think of something a lot better in that slot. I kind of wanted to buy for a while. Where is it? No, not that one. Not that one. Oh, come on, you bitches. Where is it? My problem is I'm looking in one row. There it is. Every good country garage needs a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Alright, so... Damn, well, that's delivery. Alright, what the hell? Let's go update this. I remember when I was a kid back in the 90s and I would see these driving around all the time. Of course, it kind of sounds like a... I haven't even put turbo on this yet, and it already sounds like kind of like a wind-up toy, but whatever. See, everybody's out here killing each other, and I just want to upgrade my cars.
She came in. That.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, we'll come back to that. Yeah, let me get that. I don't even know if those lights work, but what the hell, I'm gonna get it. All right. Okay, good. It does work. Alright, there we go. Fresh new car smell there with that Seminole Frontier instead of that weird-ass bullshit van. Alright, moving on. Back to regularly scheduled program. Here's that Duke of Death I mentioned earlier that I replaced the normal Duke with. I made it kind of a matte orange, so it'd be sort of like Merca. But now it's a lot more bulletproof. I think bomb-proof, too. Now, this truck here has got kind of a story to it. This is named Gage. I had like a... Anyway, hearing sniper fire inside my garage. What the fuck? Anyway, this Sand King XL, I made a whole race based around this truck. It's a damn good truck. Named it after my friend Gage, who's also another guy. I haven't talked to him in ages, but he's one of the best guys I ever played with on Xbox. Originally, I had the two-door version of this, and that sucked. So this is actually Gage 2.0. Since this is the more superior four-door version of the original Sand King. Then I got a Buffalo in my country garage for some reason. I'm not sure why. I guess I was trying to go for like a... I think it's because of that movie White Lightning with Burt Reynolds. You know, he was like a moonshiner. And he had a really fast muscle car sedan type thing. And this is the only like sedan in the game that I can think of that's got like a Hemi engine in real life. So a Dodge Charger would probably be a place in a country garage. So yeah, I'm gonna keep that there. 'Cause that's where they do all the moonshinings out in the country. Mm-hmm. And then this, the Riata, I bought this during one of the snow. One of the times it was, I think it was a few years ago when it came out. But yeah, this is like my go-to snow driving vehicle whenever it's that time of year. Alright, so this next garage I got, I originally had it as a kind of like a purpose garage, like a situational garage. Of course, a lot of the situations have either been patched out or are just redundant now, so I guess it makes this garage redundant. But also what I did was, this area is where I keep a lot of my biker businesses. Originally, what happened was, I had my biker clubhouse, like, somewhere around here, and then I decided to get this one instead, because it's just, you know, closer. I'm gonna start from here. Of course, I got the Granger. Those aforementioned guys, you know, Pyro, Gage, back in the 360 days, we all used to drive together and drive around, and I got a Granger because there was like 5 or 6 of us, well, including myself, and a couple of us would hop on the side, and we would just drive around like the SWAT teams, fighting enemies during missions and free roam events and everything. And this was kind of like our squad car sort of thing. And then, of course, everybody should have an Insurgent. This is a very important vehicle in case there's some dickhead in a Mark II trying to kill you while you're doing a, you know, business battle or trying to deliver air freight or crates or anything. This is you know, this is a good little turtle shell right here. I don't know how well it holds up by today's standards with the missiles and other weaponized PvP vehicles in the game, but still, this is a good keeper. I painted it red to be as a reference to that Top Gear episode where Richard Hammond was crashing through things in South Africa. This is Michelangelo. This was everybody should have an armored Kuruma. I don't know how well it holds up by today's standards, but there was a time before the Pacific Standard heist got patched to shit that I used to use this for the Pacific Standard heist and for other missions. And but now it's kind of redundant, just like pretty much everything else in this garage. This is almost like a time capsule garage, if anything. I'll call it my time capsule garage. What the hell? Also, speaking of other things that are redundant and that I'm no longer interested in, this Washington, which is based on a Lincoln. I used to use this as like for police role plays and stuff. My friends used to invite me to. Now these two cars, there's a story. Well, all right, I'll get to that one in a second. But this, I don't know if you remember the Santa Claus money thing that happened back in 2014. What happened was people were getting billion-dollar bounties put on them. And what they would do is they would spread the money to all the different players in the session. And I ended up getting like $10 million because of that. And so the first thing I did was I ended up buying an adder, because buying an adder was like, back in 2014 was a big deal. $1 million was a big deal back then. Now it's like, it doesn't make sense, you know. And there's a bunch of you neckbeards right now are going, hey man, I can make $1 million in an hour doing the Cayo Perico. Yeah, okay, thanks. That's, yeah, great, good to know, Chad. Thanks for that. Yeah, that's good for you. But consider that 7 years ago, $1 million was a shitload of money. And so to own an adder was kind of a big deal. So I ended up buying an adder. But then Rockstar went through, erased all the money and everything, and I freaked out, and I was like, ah, shit, I better get rid of this. So I ended up selling it, and then about a year later, I went back and I bought another one with legitimate earned money in the game. So this is that one. This is Candy Cane, as a reference to the Santa money days. But I sold the other one, bought a brand new one. This is all legit. Just to be clear, everything I'm showing you in this video or in this stream was all bought with legitimate. I busted my ass in GTA Online money. I didn't do any grinding. I didn't do any kind of like grinding glitches or exploits or any of that shit. I swear to you. But also this vehicle, I kept it here because when I used to do the Hunt the Beast, well, whenever I became the Beast, and the rare occasions that I ever became the Beast, I used to use this car to drive up and down around the map. I had a strategy. I used to like go to the nearest checkpoint and go to the furthest checkpoint and then just keep crisscrossing, and no one ever caught you. So it was easy to win that. But this also used to be my go-to supercar race, you know, super race car, super class race car. Yeah. Now this is Raven. This is an exemplar. I originally bought this way back in 2013 when I thought the heists were going to be coming out like immediately, and they didn't. And of course they didn't come out until damn near 2016, it feels like. So this car, I never gave up hope on it. I kept the exemplar in my garage. I've moved it to this garage, but I've had it in various garages. But this car I've owned this the longest. This is probably the oldest car I've had. Someday if I buy an Xbox One X or Xbox Series X or whatever the hell the next gen of Xbox is, I'm going to own it on that version of GTA Online too. This thing I've had since the beginning, or until I was able to afford it, to buy it in the beginning. But this was like the go-to heist car. In the rare occasion that I played with people who were like, yeah, let's trip skip, and they would all hop in and we would trip skip. This was the car we would take. That is if you could herd the cats into the car, because everyone's like, no, I'm going to take my adder. I'm going to take... It's just like, yeah, you're just like, fine, you do whatever the fuck you want. I'm taking this. Ugh. Hey, another great video to watch. Criminal Mastermind Attempt Fail. I'll put a link to that video in the description, too. Go ahead and witness my pain with that. Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's move on to... I'm going to take Raven with me. We're going to go to the biker clubhouse, which is right up the road. Not that far. Here's all the bikes for the biker garage. This is my Dinka T. I named it Pete. Like Peter Dinklage. This motorcycle I've had, this is the longest running motorcycle I've had. This is still my go-to racing motorcycle. Matter of fact, fun story. A few days ago, I did a motorcycle race, and I used this, and I got in first place. Everybody else had other motorcycles. I was the only one using a double T, and and yeah, I won it. So yeah, this was always my go-to racing bike, and it's still going to be my go-to racing bike. And then over this here, this is Valentine. This is a Nemesis. This is actually a spawned-in Nemesis. It was one of those vehicles where, you know, it was like the tailgater and the Bobcat. You had to find it. You couldn't buy it at the time. Now you can buy it. It's no big deal. But yeah, this is one of those ones where I spent a ridiculous amount of time trying to find it, and you're damn right I'm keeping it. Now everything after that, this is the Damon. This was another one of those motorcycles where as soon as I found it, I'm like, oh, well, let me take this to a garage ASAP type motorcycles, because it was rare. Couldn't buy it at the time. Oh, I thought I saw a health bar. What the fuck was that? Anyway, so there's that. And then this is the Wolfsbane. I think I remember naming this, but I can't remember what I named it. There's the Wolfsbane. This is the Enduro. This motorcycle is still to this day my go-to wheelie motorcycle for that daily objective where you got to do the 10-second wheelie. This is that one. This is a mistake. This is the this one over here is the Hakarachu Drag. Apparently there's a special thing you can do with this motorcycle where you get a speed boost, but even to this day I still don't know what that secret is. Over here, this is the Innovation. This is like my every time I'm playing as a motorcycle club president and I have to call in a motorcycle on the fly, this is like the first one that's on the list. This is the one that's like the one where, you know, I go to ride it around and I get my health back kind of thing. I don't know how you change that, but anyway, this is it. This is that one. And then well, actually, yeah, here, this is, what the hell is this? Yeah, this is the Wolfsbane motorcycle. I think this is just for show. I don't drive this one that much. And then this one here is, I think, just came out during the Cayo Perico heist, I think. This is where the Street Blazer was for the longest time, but then I replaced it with this because, hey, if you're going to have a quad bike, why not have one with ammo cans on it? Okay, I know I said earlier in the stream that Bobcats are rare. I know I'm coming across a lot of them, but I'm pretty sure they released a patch at some point where they made Bobcats really easy to come across. Or is it maybe it's the one with the cap on the back? That's the rare one. I can't remember. Every time I see that little flash pop up, I think it's going to be, you know, one of the new import-export blue dot cars or something popping up on the screen. But no, it just says heist equipment being moved whenever the little mini-map flashes. Like, I could give a shit about. I'm not going to steal somebody else's heist equipment. And I recommend you don't do it either, because that's kind of a douche move. So let them. I don't even know why Rockstar even made that a thing. Let them move the heist equipment. What do you get for destroying somebody else's heist prep? I don't get it. I want to see how that works. Okay, well, there's a motorcycle I'll have to pay for from Wars Mutual. All right, let's start here. So of course, here's the thruster, the jetpack. Very useful. I don't care what anybody says. The thruster is actually great because it's like basically being able to call in a helicopter from your mechanic. He'll deliver it to you wherever you're at. You know, it's just great in case you're doing like air freight or something, and some asshole blows you up while you're trying to transport it in a buzzard, and then you know you need to. This is also great for fighting against Mark IIs. For some reason, if you're going at full speed, they'll just keep shooting rockets at you, and they won't hit you. Or they will eventually hit you, but not right away. So the thruster is actually a great vehicle to have. Here's the scramjet. Tried to make it look like a Hot Wheel. I think I got that when it was on sale or something. It was like a free promotion or something. Actually, that is a pretty kick-ass vehicle. Here's the Barrage. Here's the Conjali. And then I bought this because I always wanted an Army Jeep. There's the APC. There's the Chernobog. Here is the Insurgent pickup, fully armored. Now this Nitro he's usually son of a bitch. Okay, he's usually pretty good at picking cars and everything, saying recommendations and all. But I don't know, I think we made like a blood pact or something. Like he said, like, oh, I'll buy one if you buy one, and we ended up both buying one of these. I think he sold his since then. But yeah, we both own Dune FAVs. This is one of my, you know, I wish I could sell it kind of things. Like if this is on the list of shit I would sell, but then I would end up emptying out of space at the facility, and I'd have to replace it with something else. Now this here, the weaponized Tampa, is great for missions. I think you've seen me use this like I used it during that criminal mastermind failed attempt video, and I used it during some of the solo missions. But this is a great weaponized vehicle. Also, I used to have a Stromberg here too, but I sold it once the Toreador became available. It used to be like parked right over there. I think I replaced it with the Scramjet. Can't remember. But anyway, yeah, there's my facility. Alright, so this next garage I bought because at the time, Rockstar didn't have the ability to let you spawn into your vehicle warehouse for some reason. Now they do, so this next house is kind of redundant. But as you can see, my vehicle warehouse is like right down the hill from yeah, I know, I could just land that, but I'm not going to. So I bought a house that was like right down the hill from my vehicle warehouse, and this used to be my spawn-in point for when I was doing import-export cars. This one's kind of like my my Lowrider Garage. Alright, so starting from now, my friend Mike, or Allergy, if you know him on Xbox, he recommended I get the Primo Custom, because you can actually two-wheel this pretty good. So I got that. Now this here, there's kind of a story behind this one. Originally, my first car ever in GTA Online was a blue Sabri Turbo. But then my character got deleted because a lot of people's characters got deleted because the cloud server took a shit and fucked up everything in the first few weeks of GTA Online, so I had to start over. And that's when I got the Shyster, or the Fusillade, I mean, as my main car. But this was originally my main car. As a matter of fact, when I started up a second character, not Wong Hung Lo, but a different second character, I made sure this was going to be the first car for that character. So yeah, of course, then when the Lowrider update came out, I turned it into this epic badassery you're looking at right now. Same thing happened with Oriole Bird. Used to be just a straight up orange Buccaneer. Then Lowrider came out, and I made that into a Benny's custom. Still call it Oriole. This is also a Benny's car. Not a Lowrider, though. I don't know why the hell I have it in this garage. I might rectify that in a minute. But yeah, anyway, this was an Allergy. That part of it was free. But then I think you had to pay like $1 billion or whatever to make it into this. And then, of course, customize it to how it is. But it doesn't really belong here. I've always, I've always had like one car in the Lowrider Garage that doesn't really belong here. But I think I'm going to rectify that right now. Just give me a second. But right now, here's the, of course, I got the Moonbeam. I call this Boombox because I just put like all the best speakers on it. And whenever we go to a car meet, I just blast Los Santos classic rock radio through that thing. And then this here, the Virgo Classic Custom. I wanted little Jacob's car from GTA 4, so I tried to make it look like that, but just nicer, cleaned up. But yeah, this is a Lowrider. But let me fix this. Let me do another little sidetrack here. Don't worry, folks. I'm not going to sell it. I'm just going to put it in the auto shop because this car kind of looks like a tuner. Skipping ahead, I was going to show you guys this one last, but since we're here, yeah, that seems to fit better where it's at. Anyway, this is where I was going to put all my tuner cars for the tuners update. Still, barren. I know. I might not buy that many. I don't know yet. I don't know how this update's going to go. They're still releasing cars. But so far, I got the Tailgater S, and this is my racing car, the Jester RR. RR, mate. And then this one's a work in progress, the Dominator GTT. I'm trying. TT. Yeah. Anyway, this is a work in progress. I'm trying to get up to rank 139 in the car meet thing, so I can get the flames. I want to put flames on the front of this. Actually, I guess this would be the car that I should make look most like the car from Bullet, but I don't know. Oh god. Okay, there we go. And the equilibrium is complete. Now all the lowriders are properly at the Lowrider Garage. Now, next. This thing is like a boat. Sounds like a boat, too. Look at that engine. No, it doesn't sink like a boat, so that's good. Now, I guess one way I could troll people is just go into passive mode, drive around in the Moonbeam, blasting Los Santos rock radio. See, I mean, I got a decent taste in music. I'm not going to be a dick and just go around and blast Fly Low FM or whatever while driving around. All right, so this garage, this house here I bought because, well, now you can own more properties, first of all. But the other reason is because this is about as close to a beach house as I guess I'm going to get, because Rockstar won't release, like, houses where, you know, along Vespucci Beach. You remember in San Andreas, in GTA San Andreas, all the different options for safe houses you could buy? And one of those options was kind of like one of these houses, sort of, that was, like, literally right by the beach. You know, what the Rockstar? Why don't you just, you know, you want people to spend money, right? Let us buy one of these, you know? But, unfortunately, this is the closest I'm going to get to that, so what the hell. So I bought this, and to keep with the beach theme, I kind of made it sort of like a surfer dude garage. This is the Carbon Azair. This is my current convertible, go-to convertible that I put here, and then, of course, this is the Weenie. No, the Weevil, sorry. The Weevil that you get for helping out, what is his name? Obnoxious Dave. Yeah, Obnoxious Dave, that works. During the Cayo Perico side quest stuff. And then, of course, I also got the Briosco 300, because everybody should have a Fiat. It's a nice little cute car, you know. And then this I used to have over in my Lowrider Garage, but I put it here because, you know, I just dig the whole surfer board thing. That's not. It'd be nice if they added surfing to the game. It's right across the street, so I figure I'll just run there. It's GTA. What could go wrong? This was actually, back in the day, Integrity Way was actually like my main go-to garage. Well, first it was Solomon Richards. Everybody got that at some point. But then, when I found out Rockstar Bunny Quotes released updated interiors for the garages, I decided to buy one of those here at Integrity Way. And honestly, for the longest time, I actually liked the inside of these apartments until they released those customizable ones for Eclipse Towers. And then I ended up trading this in for one of those. But now that we can buy more, you know, properties, I figured I would go back, get nostalgic. Thing is, though, when they say customizable, it's nice you can change the theme of them. But it'd be even better if it was like, you know, Scarface, The World Is Yours, and you could like actually buy furniture and arrange, kind of like the casino penthouses, you know, where you could like update it however you wanted with whatever furniture you wanted, like that, but move it around. Be actually able to place it at places. That would be a kick-ass apartment. But anyway, yeah, this is my joke garage. This is like the Shirley You Can't Be Serious, I am and don't call me Shirley type garage, where I just put all my what the fuck was I thinking type vehicles. But except for this one. This is Little Debbie. I bought this back during the hipster update, and I regret nothing. This is but this is all kind of this is still like the vehicle I would pick. Like, hey, let's go do a car meet. This is my car meet vehicle. I just show up to with this, and everybody gets a good laugh for about 30 seconds, and then I get an actual car. But yeah, that's what that's for. And then, of course, this is for my hood safaris. I bought this during my casino, during the Cayo Perico heist. This is the Squatty. I always go to Grove Street with this one. Anyway, and then here's the go-kart that we all got for free. So there's that. And then this is the Mystery Mobile. I swear I'm not drifting on purpose. I don't know what the hell that was all about. It's raining out. That might be why.
What did you do?
This is definitely a smart car. Smart, smart, smart. I am so smart. S-A-R-T. I mean S-M-A-R-T. Let me show you the delivery vehicles and give you a little PSA here. Alright, so here's the thing about the delivery vehicles. And this is something I try to touch on with starting over in GTA Online. 99% of the time, you're going to be using the Speedo Custom. This is going to be your delivery vehicle. 99% of the time, most of the time, all of the time, that car right there. The Mule, sometimes you'll end up needing this. If you fuck up with the sporting goods selection and you end up realizing, oh, wait a minute, I'm selling all 100 instead of just 90 of them. Try to sell the sporting goods before it gets to 90. That way you can use the Rumpo. But you're going to end up using the Mule. I've actually used the Mule for a couple of selling missions. Didn't get blown up, but I still regret it. Because this thing is so damn slow. It'd be nice if they had nitrous on it or whatever. I'm so pissed at myself that I bought the Mule. I'm even more pissed at myself that I bought the Pounder. Never use this for a sale mission. I might someday, if I ever decide, hey, I'm going to sell everything in my nightclub all in one go. That's when this thing would be used. If I ever do that, then it might be useful. Otherwise, this thing is just collecting dust in this garage. So yeah, you're better off just keeping the Rumpo. That's all you're ever going to use for a lot of the time, like ever, probably, is just the Rumpo. Those other two delivery vehicles. But hey, if you got the money, go ahead and buy them, but just, yeah. Okay, so here is the main nightclub garage. I tried the way the theme for this is like, hey, if I owned a nightclub, what kind of cars would I have in here? So this is where I keep all my flashier stuff. Actually, not. Before I start pointing these out, let me rearrange this. Why didn't I do this before? I don't know what the hell. I'm hungry. That's probably why I'm, like, dyslexic. Alright, so let's start at this end. Yeah, Mammoth Patriot. Tried to make it look like Playboy's Patriot from GTA 4. The one you used during that mission, Deconstruction for Beginners, and a couple other missions. And it dubs to 6x6. I used to have in my situational garage, but then I moved it here because this thing just looks badass. I forget what I named it. But I used to have it parked next to my Huntley S, which I named Meat Wallet, so I must have also had a vagina joke for that vehicle. So maybe it might be best I don't remember the name of it. Here is my XLS, my armored XLS. I wanted to buy one of these because I wanted to be able to spawn one in with my CEO vehicles. But also I figured after watching 13 Hours, I thought, like, yeah, that thing could take anything. Actually, in the universe of GTA Online, it can't take anything. It could take, like, some bullets, and it could take a couple RPGs before you blow up. But in 13 Hours, that was a kick-ass car. I mean, and then this, I think I got for free. This was one of those... Oh, I think I got this for free by doing all the casino missions or something. But this is the Paragon R Armored. I think it has machine guns on it. I don't know. If it does, yeah, it looks like it does. But they're just those shitty pop gun, don't do anything type machine guns. You're better off just aiming for the driver using an AP pistol type kind of cars. But yeah, I put that here. Same thing with this. This is another, like, pickup type car. I wanted to get this supercar because it was one time I was testing out all the supercars just for shits and giggles, and it's ridiculous how many cars are in this class. I think the sports class has more cars than, but the super class is like the second most cars. And I was testing this out around a racetrack, and I just I just fell in love with the ass end of this car, and I'm like, I got to get one of these because this is just. I would never car, ladies and gentlemen, but god damn, look at the ass on this thing. Just. But yeah, I figured, yeah, this would be nice for the nightclub. That kind of car. These two cars were my go-to Freeroam cars for a while when they came out. The XA21 and the Sterling GT. Dude, if you do not have a Sterling GT, seriously recommend you buy one. This is a kick-ass car. It sounds great. It handles great. It's fast as hell. The Sterling GT is like one of my favorite all-time GTA Online cars. Now, everything from here on is... I think I kind of skipped a couple while I was... Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so there's the Hellcat. I'm sorry. The Hellfire. Not the Hellcat. It's totally not the Hellcat. This is totally not a Dodge Hellcat. Shut up, Eric. What is wrong with you? That's a Bravado Hellfire. So yeah, I got that. Put that in the garage. And then these other two cars, I figured, well, you know, if you're going to own a nightclub, you know, you pick up, you know, some chic or somebody from, like, some royalty or whatever, from, like, some Shambhala country or whatever wants to come to your nightclub. What are you going to pick them up in? You know, this is what you would pick them up in. Something like this. So, you know, you got the Super Diamond and you got the Oracle SS. I just picked that up off the street. I always wanted an Oracle XS, so there we go. That's what. Now the other thing with the nightclub is I was thinking of like, I don't own the other two garage spaces. I got like 20 more cars worth of garage space I could buy with the nightclub, but I was thinking of like buying one more floor, and like having a hype garage. You know, like all the cars that were always hyped up in this game. You know, where people would be like, oh my god, I can't wait for the next update. That's when they're going to release the Supra. Oh, that's when they're going to release the Alfa Romero. Oh, that's when they're going to have the Maserati or whatever, that garage. And then just buy like all the cars that the hyped up garage. Just have like a floor room like this of like all those cars. But I would need some help on that because I don't remember what all the hyped up cars were from those updates, and I might even already own some of them. So I don't know. Actually, oh yeah, we're pretty much done with here. Let's I've already told you that car is awesome, and I've already driven these a lot. So let's pick something else to take to the next garage. I might go on Reddit and ask. Everybody's so nice on Reddit. What the hell? Yeah, after I said that, that's where I would put a slash and an S. It's a Reddit thing. You wouldn't understand. It's nice that you got 3 different options of how to get in here. That's cute. Also, it looks like I got 20 more blocks of car space for here, too, if I wanted to get more space. So, in this garage, these, of course, are all the Arena Wars vehicles. I know. It's a very forgettable update. I'm trying to forget it, too. But all of the vehicles that I purchased were all just like vehicles that would, you know, be best for each of the game modes that I barely ever played. As a matter of fact, the only time I ever play the game modes is when I'm doing daily challenges. I mean, objectives. So it's very rarely I use a lot of these, but this one over here, the Death Bike, I've used that a lot for like the different races. That's like the best arena vehicle you can have. It's weaponized, it's fast. What more can you ask for? Now, the Frankenstange, right? I don't know why it's not this Frankenstrange, but whatever. Anyway, the Frankenstange I keep because I put here because I bought it during, I think, the last Halloween update because I always wanted to get it and I had money to burn. You know how it is. Anyway, I bought it. Wasn't sure where out of the garage to put it in, so I figured, yeah, what the hell? Let's put it in the arena garage. And then, of course, I always wanted a monster truck. And this is a regrettable purchase, but this is one of those ones that Quick Sheep talked me into. This is Big Berna. Instead of Big Bertha, it's Big Berna. Anyway, I was wanting a flamethrower in the game anyway, so I guess that works out. But that was like I think I spent like $2.5 million altogether upgrading this thing. See, I never ranked up in the Arena Wars stuff. So whenever I wanted to buy an upgrade, I would have to pay like the extra bit to buy it early. That was Rockstar's way of gouging cash out of people back then. In fact, they kind of fixed that with the Tuners update, because now you absolutely have to rank up in order to unlock some of that stuff. So, you know, keep people playing a little longer, you know. This one here is my favorite. This is Hickman. I named it that off of after Bill Hickman, who was a legendary movie stunt driver. And this, I can't say if this is for sure a Dodge Charger, but it looks a hell of a lot like the car that he had in Bullet when he played the bad guy, when he was in that car chase against Steve McQueen. So this is like my favorite of all the arena cars that came out. And then this over here, this is the Lurcher. Same thing with the Frankenstein. Didn't know where else to put it, so I figured I'd put it here. And I also got space for 2 other cars. I don't know what other vehicles they released during the arena update, but I very much doubt I'm going to get any more of them. But at least I got space for 2 more right there without having to buy the other levels. This here is, I guess you could consider it a movie car. This is from the 1989 classic Tango and Cash, the RV from Hell that they use at the end of the movie. God, that movie was such a clusterfuck. There's videos on YouTube about the production of the movie. It was apparently an insane movie to make, you know. But I remember watching it when I was a kid and thinking, hey, this is pretty cool. But if you're one of those film auteurs or whatever, I'm a dilettante, so, you know, whatever. But if you're one of them auteurs, you probably won't like it. But I don't watch movies to pick them apart. I just watch movies to kill my brain for 2 hours, you know. Each his own, I guess. Now this here, this was my first arena car. It's a Apocalypse Dominator. I named it Mona. I really don't use it that much anymore. I think the only reason why I bought it is because it kind of reminded me of the Mustangs that were in Death Race, because they got that big ass thing on the end of it. But yeah, between all the other vehicles, I don't really use this anymore. And like I said, I barely ever do the. I think I'm gonna sell this. I don't normally just sell cars of mine willy-nilly, but. Wait a minute. Nope, I think I'm gonna keep her. I'm gonna keep her. Yeah, I like this car. This is like a speedy Phantom Wedge. Alright, so this here is like my movie garage. Different vehicles I bought, and I decided to put them here because I was like, oh yeah, hey, this is from this movie, this is from that movie, you know. And, you know, to free up space at my other garages. Not that I needed to, because I got space at other places. But whatever. Anyway, it's a theme. I'm keeping the theme going. So anyway, this is a Slam Van Custom. This thing I've bought, and I've sold it, and put it in the museum at one point. And then once I started doing the movie garage, I thought, all right, let me bring it out of the museum, put it here. This is kind of like the truck that Fred Sanford, Red Fox, used to drive around in Sanford and Son. Actually, that was also the truck that Eddie Murphy had in this really underrated 90s movie called Metro. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but I recommend watching it. It was kind of like Beverly Hills Cop, but without the comedy, you know. Here, this is, well, you know, it's the Imperator, Mad Max's car, pretty much. I don't know what it's based on in real life. I tried to make it like look as much like Mad Max's car as I could. I decided to go with matte gray instead of chrome because I spent all that time playing that damn Mad Max game. I didn't want to look at a shiny car. I wanted to look at, you know, not that I ever drive this thing. And then, of course, here's the proper Vanishing Point Dodge Challenger. Gauntlet Classic. And then in the middle, I got the Vapid Ellie, which, as you can tell, I tried to make it look green like the car from Bullet. But the thing is, though, I'm pretty sure the car that was in Bullet was a different type of Mustang than the one that Ellie was. I'm not familiar with that. So yeah, I know this is like the car from Gone in 60 Seconds, but I tried to combine my movie references in the one car, and that's probably not a good idea. But whatever, there's that. And then this car here, I named Paulie in honor of Paul Sorvino, who's like still alive as of the time of streaming this. American classic, that guy is. Played in Goodfellas and a bunch of other films. But anyway, this is kind of like the car that they had in Goodfellas, or at least Ray Liotta had at one point in Goodfellas, except it's not a convertible, but whatever. The Banana is something I've had for a long time, and it's something that's switched from garage to garage, depending on. But yeah, it's got a home in the movie theme garage now. Now this here isn't exactly like the type of BMW that was in the movie Ronin, which by the way is also another really good 90s action movie, if you've never heard of it. It's got Robert De Niro, Jean Reno, a bunch of other people in it. Good film. I think you can watch it on Amazon. I think it's still available on Amazon for free. But there's a really, really damn good car chases in it, and one of them involves a BMW, and this is the Zion Classic. Not exactly the car they had in that movie in the one car chase, because it's only 2 doors. No, wait. No, it's only 2 doors. I thought I saw a 4-door, but it's a light reflection. But no, there was a 4-door in the movie, but it's sort of like the one they had in Ronin. And then this one I named Bill. I bought this after the day I learned that Bill Paxton passed away at too young of an age. Tried to make it look like the car that he had in True Lies, which, once again, is also a very good 90s action movie. If you've never watched it, I recommend it. He kind of plays a douchebag in it, but it's for comedic effect. But yeah, this is the Coquette Blackfin. And then another Coquette from another great 90s movie, Con Air. This has got to be that one from Con Air, I'm pretty sure, because they released this during the San Andreas Flight School update. I can give you a whole list of movies from the 90s you guys need to watch. Some of my viewers weren't even born in the 90s. You know, so I mean, it's like a lot of great movies you guys are missing out on if you don't watch them. Like I said, watch them with an open mind. Don't try to be an Artuda. Don't try to be Siskel and Ebert. Don't try to be like, oh, well, this movie sucks because it has a... Fuck that. Just watch it for what it is. You know, you can do that with any movie from any time period. Now, this here is the Retinue. Didn't try to color it like anything. I just kind of colored it how I wanted. I don't know why I picked this color. Don't ask me. But yeah, it's kind of like the car that Frank Reagan used to drive around in this old British cop show called The Sweeney. And then this, of course, is a Studebaker type taxi that, well, the Dynasty. You name a movie that had the old Studebaker taxis in it, and that'll pretty much cover this. That's, you know, also a great old TV show from the 80s, Taxi. This is pretty much what they drove. I'm burping a lot because I had pizza for lunch while I was during the intermission. Sorry about that. But yeah, anyway, that's the movie garage. Yeah, you got to do a little recon with the pause map before you decide to drive out of these places. There's people with squirrels juggling knives in their heads in this game. You gotta pretend like everybody's just an insane crack addict in GTA Online. I wish the tuners could have nitrous. Okay, so, the arcade garage. These are just all the cars that I got for free from spinning the lucky wheel at the casino. You got the Krieger. PR4, which I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to put in my race garage. You got what the fuck? Nemesis. I got 2 Nemesi? Nemesi, that's the right for Nemesises? Yeah, Nemesi, that sounds better. Let me sell this. Let me just sell this. I don't know why I got 2 of these. I don't want 2 of the same vehicle. I'm going to go take this to a... So not really a fan of the lighting glitch thing that goes on down in the basement of the arcade. So, damn it. Anyway, so yeah, Krieger PR4 Vagrant. I told myself I was never going to buy a Deluxo, so luckily that was free from the, the reward wheel. Same thing with the half track. Told myself I was never going to waste money on one of those, but hey, we got one from the casino lucky wheel. And this is a Penumbra FF. Okay, here's the thing about the Penumbra FF and this Tropos Rally. Here's the thing. Sometimes I play... I don't know if you knew this about me, ladies and gentlemen. But sometimes I play games drunk, and I don't remember shit. So I may have won these from the Lucky Wheel, or they may have just been given to me from Rockstar. Either way, at some point, I ended up putting them here, so I guess they were freebies. And my sober subconscious just controlled that thought processing. Anyway, this here is the latest one, the Michelli GT, which isn't really all that spectacular after driving it, but hey, free is free. And I still got space for two more vehicles. Let me see. Yeah, 2 more vehicles. So this will be my, hey, I won something from the Lucky Wheel Garage. Alright, so I've switched some things around since last time. Okay, well, first of all, I put those on the hell's the name of this car again? Oh yeah, the Rapid GT Classic. Yeah, I put those pipe things on there because I saw them on the... Doesn't matter. Look, the thing is, I changed the car from what I used to think it was, and I just put those fucking pipes on. Just don't judge me. Anyway, Ellie, I kind of pulled a Neil Druckmann with Ellie, and kind of put her off to the side and gave her a makeover. But no, I didn't do it for the sake of pandering to transsexuals or trying to create a safe space for soy boys or anything like you did with Last of Us 2. No, this was basically just because, I wanted to change the color of Ellie. And, man, I bet you Neil Druckmann wish he could do that. Yeah, anyway, I wanted to change the color of Ellie and put her in the museum because I got a second Dominator, which I'll show you in a second. I'll get to that in a moment. But basically, I took it out of the casino garage and put it here. Might add it back. I don't know. Now, the other thing I did with the office garage was... hang on. Relax, it's not Rona. I haven't been to Arkansas. Alright. The other thing I did with the office garage was I added the Brawler to it because I swapped it out of the race garage with the Vagrant. I'll explain that in a second. Then I added the Sterling GT to the muscle car Sports Classics garage. That's technically where it used to be before I put it in the nightclub anyway, so it's like it's home. It's back home. Alright, so I tried to get some information from Reddit about updating the race garage. Apparently the Dominator ASP is the new best muscle car, at least according to one guy. But until I can get a definitive answer, keeping the Dominator. Changed the paint job on the F620. Replaced the Brawler with the Vagrant, or Valigant, or whatever. Yeah, Vagrant. And replaced Mercy with the whatever this. Yeah, the Brioso 300. That's okay though. I put Mercy back in the beach garage, so they just swapped. I didn't get rid of her. But yeah, everything else I pretty much stayed the same because I've looked at the numbers and yeah, I guess the Krieger apparently is the new fastest supercar, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it like that. So I ended up moving the taxi cab to the joke garage, and I ended up buying a Rhapsody. And for the nightclub garage, didn't really do anything different, but I ended up buying a Tesla. Swapped that out with the Stinger GT. I just hope it doesn't like blow up while it's down here. All right, so imagine the egg on my face when I found out that you could buy a non-Arena War version of the the Impaler. So yeah, you know what I ended up doing? I ended up selling the Apocalypse Impaler at the Arena Garage, and I traded it in towards a normal vanilla Impaler. And yeah, I think this is a much better version of the car. I mean, I don't know if this is based on a Dodge Charger or not, but what I ended up doing was winning a new Dominator GTT, and of course I gave that the proper Highland green. You can't really see it because the lighting's really shitty here, but I gave that a proper Highland green paint job, like the car from Bullitt. And then I got rid of the Mad Max car because really, I could give two shits about Mad Max. I'm sorry. I mean, it's a good movie, good movies and all. Pretty decent game, but I just got rid of it. So now I got a new. I mean, I put it back at the Arena Garage because it's an arena vehicle. I didn't sell it, but yeah. So now I got a new space at the movie cars garage. And then with the auto shop, I ended up getting a 1994 Mustang, the Growler, and Cypher. I don't really know if I'm going to get any other of the new cars. I'm not sure yet. I doubt it. Because basically these were the only three, well, these were the only four that I really gave a shit about from the update. And then the Dinka, I just got that because it was actually a really damn good race car. So that was more of a necessity thing. And then the Obey I just got because, I love four-door cars that are fast as hell in this game. And I think actually the other reason I got it was because I wanted to buy a version after playing with Shashantes or Shashila or whatever the hell her name is. After playing with that one, I thought, like, yeah, I could do a better job of having something that doesn't look terrible. So I think that might have had something to do with it too. And then of course this was just, I just added this here because it seems like a tuner car. Alright. That was a mistake. I am not replacing, I'm not replacing the Issy. I'm not doing that. That other car is a piece of shit. That Biolioso 300, whatever the hell it is. No. Terrible car. So, with my muscle car garage, it's been a few months since the last time I was recording this, so some updates have happened since then. Literally, a couple updates, because the last time I was recording this, it was the Tuners update just came out. So now Criminal Enterprises was just released about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago, and I've rearranged some stuff. But yeah, after the Tuners update, I ended up buying a Shyster Deviant, which is actually a really cool car, and a Bravado Greenwood. This is actually the second Bravado Greenwood I've owned, but I'll explain that in a few minutes. But you're probably wondering where's the Stallion and the Comet. Well, that's also at the thing that I'm going to explain in a couple minutes. All right, hang on, everybody. The only weird thing is after the Criminal Enterprises update came out, there's this weird glitch where once you get done doing your second car, you gotta go back into it in order to give the delivery option. So for those of you who are freaking out and you're like, oh, hey, I can't deliver the second car, that's how you do it. Just exit out, go back into it, and then you'll be able to select it. Alright, so yeah, I updated the Tuners Garage. I finally reached rank 100 something, and I was able to get the fire livery, so I'm really, yeah, I'm really pleased about that. I love that. And yeah, it was kind of out of place having the ASP all the way over here, so I put it in the proper row along with all the others. And then I ended up getting the Karen Privian. Actually, I got this for free. I think it was one of the challenge vehicle things, but it's pretty much the closest thing to a Toyota 99 Toyota Corolla. I don't think they have a Toyota Corolla in this game. That's a 99 Toyota Corolla, so I'll settle for this. It's gray. This is how my other car used to look. Well, I mean, it didn't look exactly like this. It wasn't a Supra or whatever this thing is based on, but it was this shade of gray. And actually, yeah, over the summer the transmission went up about a month ago. The transmission on her went up, and yeah, the car that I drove to Chicago and back in, everybody, is officially dead. I donated it to 187 Cars for Kids, and because I mean I wasn't gonna sell it. I mean it wouldn't be worth nothing to get it repaired and then try to sell it. I'd be losing money. So I just donated it to them, and so now I got a Hyundai Accent. And then this thing here, the RT 3000. I forget why I bought this. It's actually a pretty nice car in the game, but forget the name. I think it kind of reminds me of those old Mazdas I used to see all the time when I was a kid. Convertibles. So I bought one of those. Actually, let's go ahead. I can't remember. I don't know if yep, it does. Okay, I didn't know if the top went up in this thing or not. Not that it's bulletproof or does anything. It's not going to protect me from Compressor Mark II rockets, but what the hell. So, with the contract update, yeah, these two cars, they're automatically in the agency garage. But the ones I bought are down here. Basically the new Buffalo, the Deity, the new Baller. Actually, I can't remember if I bought that or if they gave us this for doing the missions. I can't remember. Either way, I got one. The new Patriot Mil Spec, which in my opinion is like the best damn car of the update. And the Granger 3600 LX, which is kind of like the old Granger that I got in my Purpose Garage, but you can hold 2 extra people on the side, and it's got a snorkel. Ain't that cool? And a bunch of other cool stuff that they added with the update. But yeah, right around the time the contract update came out, that's when stuff changed. And yeah, I pretty much stopped buying cars from the update at that point. I'm not to say that all of them were crap. I just wasn't interested. I was going to get one of the motorcycles and have them over here. I might do that at some other point. I don't know. But yeah. So, this is the agency garage. Now, here's the problem with GTA, and this pretty much signifies it right here. I haven't driven any of these cars since that update came out. This pretty much demonstrates the problem with GTA. I've got so many damn cars, and yet I don't use all of them at all the time. I'm basically a vehicle hoarder, I guess, is the problem. I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't know what the hell that is. Speaking of which, I actually was going to go to a psychiatrist, like a grief counselor, but they charge like $200 per thing. So, I think, yeah, the Jewish part of me feels a lot better. I don't think I'm going to need that. $200 a week, my God. You know what I could do for $200 a week? I could take that money to a bar and buy people drinks, and then meet people, maybe get laid. Who knows? I mean, that would really help. $200 a week to talk to somebody and have them repeat your. He's like, no, let's see. Well, why do you think that feels? Nah, I'm good. I think I'll keep that money. I'll work my own shit out. I don't need a psychiatrist. I know, famous last words, but still. All right, so this next thing, this is the third office garage that I have, and it kind of keeps with the museum theme that I got going with the other two. Except in this case, this is in cars that I've purchased and then decided, oh, this is stuff I want to kind of keep but not, use. I'll throw it in there. If that was the case, I would have to have a lot more garage spaces, as you could probably tell from this video, because a lot of the stuff you saw I barely use, and that's a really nice sunset shot right there. But yeah, this current garage here is sort of still a work in progress. But yeah, the intention here is to kind of like bring back cars from previous GTAs. I was surprised by how little of those there actually are before I started doing this. I was kind of, yeah, well, I'll explain as we go. Anyway, here's the Z-Type and the Stinger GT. This was originally in the other, well, this is Pyro. You remember that from earlier in the video. But these were from GTA 2. Pretty much exactly looked just like that. Of course, they were from top down. But still. The Banshee and the Patriot from, well, they were in GTA. They were in San Andreas, but they were also in GTA 3. In fact, the Banshees, a lot of the ones that I saw in GTA 3 had that same kind of paint job, so I brought that back. Also, the Patriot was also in GTA Vice City, except that had a big square cap on it, which I tried to do with the Patriot Mill spec, but it didn't look right, so I ended up just giving it an open back like the one in that Phil had in GTA 3. No, I mean Ray had in GTA 3. You remember that bulletproof Patriot you could get for doing that one mission in his mission strand. So I kind of tried to make it look like that the best I could. And then of course, the FBI Rancher from GTA Vice City. And he also had them in San Andreas, but I think the ones in Vice City looked a lot cooler. And then, of course, I tried to make Lance's Infernus from Vice City. Of course, in GTA Online, this is a Toraro. But it looks the most like the Vice City Infernus, so I picked that. Also, I want to make note, none of these cars are upgraded. These are basically just here for looks. I didn't spend... I mean, later on, I'll probably spend money upgrading all of them in certain ways, you know, engine, transmission, all that. But for the most part, these are just here for placeholders at the moment. Hillary's Sabri from Vice City. Of course, the cheetah, all the cheetahs that were in Vice City, they always had that, like, kind of cool dark, well, not dark yellow, but they had a certain shade of yellow that I think I got right. Of course, I'm happy with it. And I made sure the back of it looked just like, you know, the ones in Vice City. And then, of course, the Cuban Hermes and the Haitian Voodoos. This one, I tried to make black and red at the same time because there's like a special one in Vice City that you can get that's black. And it's like apparently the best voodoo in the whole game. So I tried to I tried to kill two birds with one stone by making it like a dark red, like the normal ones. Now for San Andreas, we got the NRG 500, except this is a body 801, but it's basically the same. It's literally the same kind of motorcycle. It's a crotch rocket. Tried to recreate Sweet's Greenwood. This was actually the first Greenwood I bought and made it look like Sweet's, and then that's when I had the well, I don't want to say bright idea, more like the autistic idea to make a GTA Throwback Garage. And I decided, okay, I'm going to throw that in here and I'll buy another Greenwood, which is the one you saw earlier in the stream. This here, I was trying to recreate Caesar's Savannah. Of course, the best I could do was a Buccaneer, because for some reason Rockstar, 9 years later, still has not released a Chevy Impala. I have no idea. I mean, they got the blade, but they seriously have not made some kind of a four-door Chevy Impala type. I mean, come on, you guys got the Greenwood. For God's sake, you can't bring an Impala. Guys, make an Impala for the next update, or for GTA 6 or whatever, because that is basically what Caesar's car was. It was a custom convertible Chevy Impala. You know, there's not enough four-door classic cars in this game. There really isn't. You know, we got the Tulip and we got the Greenwood now. Now we need an Impala. All right, so this next floor up here is kind of a mishmash of San Andreas and GTA 4. Here's that Comet that used to be in the Muscle Car Garage. Here's the Stallion that used to be in the Muscle Car Garage. As we know, these were, or as I have explained in the past, these were both in GTA 4, and they were both my favorite cars from GTA 4. Yeah, this here is an absolute travesty. It's a damn shame that BF Surfer, I actually had to steal this off the street because I don't think we can purchase this through the phone. But yeah, what's even worse is I'm scratching my head. My mind is absolutely full of fuck as to why we cannot take this to Benny's and upgrade it. It seems like it would be a perfect Benny's upgrade vehicle. Plus, we already got the Galaxy livery in the game. I would love to be able to take this to Benny's, get rid of the surfboard, put like one of those little observation tower type things that the Truth had on his mothership, and recreate the Truth's mothership with the Galaxy livery and all that. Why we can't do that is beyond me. Of course, I'm on console. I'm sure there's a ton of PC mods that can handle that, but Rockstar, come on, guys. You got wasted potential on this vehicle. I ended up getting another ZR350 because that was That was kind of like the car. No, no, that was the car that you had in that one mission called Farewell, My Love, which was you used that to race Woozy and Catalina and everybody in that one race mission. The second one, you know, not the first one. The first one was a different car, but this one was. It's a work in progress. It wasn't colored like that, but I'm still working on this garage. Of course, the Stallion, and then the Penumbra. I ended up actually buying a Penumbra FF. It was on discount. You know, so this isn't the same one that I won from the arcade garage. This is a different one. But this is a lot like the car. It's about as close to a Super GT San Andreas, GTA San Andreas era Super GT that I can get. But of course, as you can see, it's basic bitch. It's all white. It doesn't have the spoilers or anything yet. This is still a work in progress. This whole garage actually is a work in progress. But yeah, that's everything, everybody. And thanks for watching. I know it took me like maybe 7 or 8 months to actually get this video together, put it together. But I'm going to explain why that is in another video. That will probably take a little longer to put together. It was a video that I didn't want to... Well, you know, I'm not going to go into it here. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for indulging me on this tour, and I hope it didn't bore you too much. Please like, share, and subscribe.